This is Arunava Chaudhuri and you are on my YouTube channel, Arunfoot. The conversation today is going to be about, once more, the All India Football Federation and what I think and what I believe the Federation could have done, should have done, or now needs to do to ensure that there is the 2025-26 Indian Super League season, and what the Federation could, should, needs to do in regard to the master rights agreement to ensure that the top league of Indian club football survives. Or should they work towards creating a new league? These are all the questions that are roaming around. The first thing is very, very clear that the All India Football Federation, in the last hearing of the Supreme Court in regard to the AIFF constitution, missed a very, very key point: to ask the court to be allowed an interim order or a relief in regard to the MRA. I think the AIFF should have tried to work out something with the Supreme Court and say, do you allow us the extension of the MRA until the end of the 2025-2026 Indian football season, with the last day being the 31st of May 2026. Simple thing. Then all the conversations that we've had over the last few days, weeks and months in regard to the ISL and the 25-26 season would have not have happened. Yes, the problem of what would be the 26-27 season, that would have been there, but the AIFF would have gained 5.5 months to work out something with Reliance or find a plan B in regard to, as they themselves have said, you know what, if the ISL doesn't exist, maybe the time has come for a new top tier league. Again, is that realistic or not? I think anyone with a little bit of common sense will tell you, no chance, given the reality in the way that the AIFF organizes their own leagues, and also the reality that money is needed to organize football. And there we are. That is, I think, the biggest crux in this whole MRA discussion. The AIFF has been receiving for the last 15 years a yearly lump sum of 50 crores. And that 50 crores is the backbone of the expenditure of the All India Football Federation on our football over the last 15 years. No questions asked by Reliance. 50 crores sent across. You run a large chunk of the AIFF system. Because when we start off, what was it, 60, 70 crores, and now we're at the prime about 120 plus crores. And if you think that those 50 crores aren't there, as the AIFF, as the administration of the AIFF, my biggest worry would be, how do I run Indian football if I don't have the 50 crores? How do I run my I-League where I subsidize things? Again, I've cut down on the subsidies dramatically over the last few years, but I still subsidize stuff. I have to incur costs in running the league. What happens to I-League 2, I-League 3? What happens with the IWL, IWL 2? What happens with the Santosh Trophy, with the senior nationals, with my nationals for boys and girls? What happens to all my programs in regard to the national teams? The AIFF, I don't know why, has not understood that either you get someone new in who guarantees you that money and tells you, I will pay for organizing my senior level league, because what we're forgetting in this 50 crore discussion is that yes, Reliance, FSDL or IMG Reliance at the start gave you 50 crores. But how many more crores has Reliance spent in organizing, running the Indian Super League? How much have the clubs been investing in the league? Now, is that money well spent or not spent? Again, totally different discussion. I think some of that money could have been spent differently. But for the AIFF, I think also after the meeting with the clubs this week, the Federation needs to find a way to either themselves go to the Supreme Court, because they are the party which is being discussed about in its future, and talk of, Can you help us? Because otherwise, it is very, very difficult. I don't know if the Supreme Court will accept that the clubs interject and come into the case at this late moment or nearly finished moment. And questions should be raised also. Why haven't the AIFF done what was needed over the last few weeks and months? Is it because certain people are happy that this case is going on and we don't have to worry about things and we are still in power in the AIFF, we're not being removed? Or is it just also sheer incompetence? Sorry, I think that's something which needs to be said. Or maybe all of these factors come together. The AIFF needs to decide for itself, do you want an Indian Super League or do you kill the Indian Super League? That is, I think, the big talking point on this matter. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? If you've got something to add or some different viewpoint maybe to add, write those things down in the comments below. And as always, like, share, subscribe Arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll be back very soon. So Arunava Chaudhuri signing off. Bye for now.